Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. So we have the confirmation that definitely Ukrainian strike on the Russian military base in Saki, Crimea was successful. Again, I am speaking about Novofedorovka military airfield. You may see it on this military map. This is the base for the Russian fighter jets like Sukhoi Su-30, Sukhoi Su-34 and Su-35. So according to the latest satellite image, definitely the airfield was hit in several of the places, including the parking stands of the Russian Sukhoi Su-30 fighter jets, one on the taxiway and one on the apron actually. And this is the zoomed in satellite image, so this is the tail of the airplane, this is the nose, and this is the wing. I'll delete it for you to see it yourself, so definitely Russia lost at least one of the airplane, as it was reported by Ukrainian channels, and definitely there are some traces of the fire on the apron too. Well, yes, it's not actually the apron, but the taxiway. So not just the fuel reservoirs were hit, but also the Russian airplanes. It means that Russia definitely is unable to protect their military airfields, including Saki, Belbek, and even Sevastopol Navy port. According to the information that was shared by the local channels in Crimea, who work for Ukraine by the way, Russia moved their air defense systems more closer to Kerch. Before, Russia had lots of the air defense systems in all of the Crimean bases, but now they have to choose what to protect and what risks are acceptable for them in what areas of Crimea, and now they decided to reinforce the protection of the Kerch Bridge. I'm not saying that there are no any air defense systems out here in the western region of Crimea. Still, Russia has those, but not that significant number as it was before. Why? Well, because Ukraine got rid of many of those. S-300, S-350, S-400, and probably even S-500. As rumors say, it was kaboomed around 1 month ago, but still we are out of the evidence, the actual photos or satellite images. Well, there was the satellite image presented, but it was such a low quality that it's hard to say that it was definitely S-500 system, because it's very similar to S-400. By the way, we have the military map update, enemy advances again in many of the directions, but I want to review that stuff a little later, because I want to start from other, maybe even positive news for Ukraine. My friends, by the way, if you like the content that I film daily, you may also consider subscribing for my Patreon. The Patreon link is available in the video description just below. Thank you so much for supporting my motivation, then YouTube cancels monetization. Thank you. So the last night Ukraine hit one of the biggest Russian oil storages. It happened in the Kursk region. That oil and fuel storage was also used by the Russian military. That's why it's the legit target for Ukraine. The fight continued all the night and all the day. It's very hard to extinguish it, so almost daily Ukraine hit the Russian oil infrastructure, applying own sanctions. I would say that those are the most effective so far. Again guys, I cannot show you the full video, all of that stuff is available on my Telegram channel in the video description just below. Also, while I'm filming this video, the drone attack happened again in the same area of Kursk. You may hear some of the drones. And some of the kabooms are happening again. So far it's hard to say where exactly drones hit some sort of the Russian infrastructure. Could be oil infrastructure, could be military. You're gonna see tomorrow morning. You may not know it, but Russia celebrated the Navy Day today in St. Petersburg. Before, each year they did it in Sevastopol, but this time, why St. Petersburg? Putin, why not Sevastopol? Well, I guess I know why. The Russian military ships which are left in Sevastopol Bay are just clogged because they cannot go to the open sea. There are huge risks for them being attacked by the Ukrainian drone boats. For this reason, Russia moved most of their military ships to Novorossiysk port, also Black Sea, but Sevastopol is no longer the main Russian military base. Ukraine was able to establish the blockade on that base. For Russian ships, it's absolute no-go to use them in the Black Sea from Sevastopol, and actually it's a great achievement of Ukrainian army, one of the greatest throughout this war. And where is the Moscow ship? Putin, where is the Moscow ship? Can you share greetings with divers to that ship as well? Probably the Moskva ship sailors also could celebrate with some fish and crabs. Well, anyways, Putin took the parade right on the water from the boat. He was screaming to his sailors, and let's see what they respond. Then I saw this video. Oh my god, I lost the speech because it was really hard to comment that stuff. Let's watch everything and let's listen. Also, I understand that it's in Russian, but nevertheless, you may feel this atmosphere and I'll translate you the main stuff.
Здравствуйте, моряки! Поздравляю вас с участием в праздновании военно-морского флота России.
You see, the Russian sailors are making this gesture and you'll see more just in a second. So Putin greets all of them. Sailors, happy Navy Day of Russia to you. And let's see what they responded.
Экипаж корабля в ответ на приветствие президента Российской Федерации выполняет церемониальное движение Тинджай.
What? The Russian commentators say that in response to the greetings from Putin, the crew of the ship greets Putin with ceremonial Tinjai gesture. Is it called Tinjai or Zik? How can you make this up? I hope YouTube is okay with this stuff. Anyways, let's watch this video again. They continue.
Чем символизирует огромное уважение к
Are they shouting Heil?
человеку. Экипаж поднимает правую руку перед телом и произносит приветствие. Да здравствует российский военно-морской флот.
The commentators say that sailors are screaming hooray to the Russian Sea Fleet or Russian Navy, but I heard, and you probably also heard, like hail.
Тинджай. Чем символизирует огромное уважение.
Yeah. The only difference that they have fist instead of palm. Sorry guys, sorry for my reaction, it's too emotional. I'm actually very tired today and recording this video is kind of tough for me. But this one, well, it's really outstanding. It is so obvious, and I hope you agree with me that Russia turns to the total Nazi regime. It's like copy-paste. They didn't come out with their own ideas. They copy what Nazis did with their actions and with their visual references even. And look at this Mr. Führer. Heil, my sailors! He really wants to look like a serious guy, but here, nope. It's more like sea circus or circus on the water, nothing more. By the way guys, you know already that Ukraine targeted the Russian military airfield of Olenia near Olenigorsk, 1000 nautical miles away from Ukrainian border, so obviously Ukrainian drones could hit this place too. So guys, in 1 year, where do you think Putin will hold his Navy parade? Kamchatka, Vladivostok, and with what kind of ships? Also a big question. Russia lost its flagship Moskva, as you remember, and as I already say to you, so why not to lose more ships this year? I bet that Ukraine is working on that very hard. Actually, it would be very nice to congratulate the Russian sailors with some kaboom flowers, but unfortunately it didn't happen today. Well, next time. Okay, sorry, I screwed up a little. Those were not the Russian sailors after all. Those were Indians, not Russians. Yeah, such a big mess with this video, and finally we have the confirmation why India is on a Russian parade. I'm quite surprised about it. Well, India is just singing the Russian song after all. After all, it looked kind of interesting even though those were not the Russian soldiers. It doesn't cancel the fact that the Russian regime is really a Nazi one, and recently I recorded the video why is it like that. By the way, you know what happened on that parade? All of the ships which Ukraine called being destroyed or damaged significantly of the Russian Navy somehow were not spotted on parade, so they were not presented out there. So it seems like the Ukrainian official information after all is correct. Oh, you know that Russians already started to build lots of the conspiracy theories about their Wagner losses which happened yesterday. They say that the Ukrainian GUR agents were also there. They saw those photos that Ukrainians also took part in the Russian ambushment. Actually, Ukrainians organized that. Instructors from among the Ukrainian military could have been directly involved in yesterday's ambush on convoy in Mali. Maybe it's true, maybe not, who knows? President of Turkey Erdogan is looking for the trouble, I guess, or he's really a populist. He said that Turkey may enter Israel with its forces, like they did in Karabakh and Libya. In Karabakh, those were actually the Azerbaijani forces, but with a great support from the Turkish side. Yeah, we all know that Erdogan is full of anti-Israel rhetorics. It is his credo, his slogan, and his political orientation, let's say. But something tells me that those are just the words. Erdogan will never ever enter Israel. It is basically too risky for Turkey and for him personally. What he will do is just blah blah blah. He will just continue with this political nonsense. Throughout its history, Israel will stand against the coalitions of many of the countries, mostly Arab countries, and it has a great military potential, plus Turkey doesn't want to mess with the United States of America because they're very, very dependent on the United States. So what he says is just for his internal clients, the population of Turkey, which is just partially supporting him. And if you look at the map, it's kind of hard for Turkey to start something against Israel because there is the sea between them and Israel, and also many other countries like Syria, Lebanon. So it's the same as Iran says, okay, we're gonna start the invasion of Israel or something like that. Physically, it's impossible to do, and with Israeli Air Force protecting all of that area, well, it's no-go, absolutely. Well, I understand that Turkish regime is kind of strange, but I don't think Erdogan is so stupid to start the war against a very hard enemy, possible enemy, Israel. But Israel itself may start the operation on the north against Hezbollah, which is based in Lebanon, so the tensions are really high, and I'm sure 100% that there will be a new war on the north against not the Lebanon but the Hezbollah. But in general, yes, the tensions are rising in the Middle East. Turkey will not do it. Again, it's just the politician bullshit from the leaders, nothing more. Again, guys, I'm telling you just my opinion, and you may agree with me or disagree, but I want to be honest with my audience. What I have in my mind, I always share with you. And if you have the other opinion, it's awesome, and you may film your own videos on your own channel. You may also share your opinion in a comment section below under this video. Why not? Maybe I'll even read it if I'll have some time to do it. And you know, we should talk about it. I film what I want to film on my channel, and I show the situation from my own perspective. It doesn't mean that I'm always right, by the way. And just look at Erdogan here. During that, oh my god, during the ceremony, the boy hesitated to kiss his hand. Shit! To kiss his hand. He was laughing. He didn't understand what to do. Finally, the boy kissed the hand and received some of the funds to his budget. The other boy also happy. Slap? Yeah, it's just a little slap. It's not harmful at all. He's really concerned that his hand wasn't kissed by the boy. Oh my god. What is happening? Is it how you treat the kids? Well, maybe I'm old already and do not understand lots of the things. Maybe it's the part of their culture, who knows? But to show it on cameras, it is not how the normal politicians would behave. But here, the slap battle. And you know, Erdogan, this kid might grow up. Later on, he might slap you too and give you some money after it. And actually, it's hard for me to understand, really, and I know, guys, you'll comment in the video description just below this case. You probably remember this Russian army commander who took the fight in Volchansk and evacuated his personnel partially with heavy losses from the region. So he recorded the video where he was crying and calling soldiers, do not go out there, it's just a hell on earth, doesn't worth it, everything is just so terrible for the Russian army out there. Well, today Russian army shared the warrant on this guy because he left his military unit. He escaped, he deserted, because he was actually detained by the order of the Russian military command. for filming that kind of the video, and now he's somewhere in Russia or outside Russia already. So the Russian military and police are looking for this guy. Well, the advice he gave is superb for every Russian man. Do not go and waste your life in this stupid war. You're not fighting for your motherland or fatherland. You are fighting for the interests of one man, mainly Putin. And more of the Russian deserters actually escaped from their military units and military branches. This time, those are the ex-Russian prisoners who were persecuted for the very hard crimes. They're also walking somewhere in Russia with AK-74 automatic rifles. How good is this, Russia? How fine. People of Russia should be very proud of the special military operation, because those guys for sure will secure them. That's why they escaped, actually, to secure the Russian people. Guys, if you want to earn 100,000 rubles, rubles, not dollars. Who cares about dollars or rubles? Just tell where they are. Well, they are now on my video. Russia started to use some of the new drones. Those are made of foam or something like that. A very light construction, and here you may see also the picture of those drones. They look similar to Shahed 136, but they have one vertical stabilizer, so the thing. But still, because of the, let's say, composite materials they are made out of, it's very hard to detect those drones. And they're dirty cheap, actually. I wonder what engines do they use. Obviously, Boxer 2-stroke, I think 2-cylinder engine this time. On the Shahed they installed 4-cylinder Boxer 2-stroke engine. Well, it means that this drone is much less powerful and able to deliver much less weight, payload, to the target. And around 1 week ago there was the strike on a Russian facility somewhere in Luhansk, and you see the devastation of the Russian barracks. Definitely Russia lost some of the soldiers out there. Some say around 17 of the soldiers and officers were kaboomed. The sources I'm getting this information from are mainly the Russian military bloggers, so they share this information themselves. That's why I monitor the enemy side too, because there you also may find some interesting information. It's better not to trust it, I understand, but this information is more or less correct. If they speak about the losses, definitely those happened. The F-16 saga continues. According to the Washington Post article, those will be delivered in the coming weeks to Ukraine, but they will not be used to target the Russian facilities on the Russian territory. According to the same article, mostly they will be used to shut down the Russian cruise missiles, basically protecting the Ukrainian skies. I wonder if they will be used to shut down the Russian Sukhoi-34 fighters bombers over the Russian territory, because I thought it could be one of their main duties, and that was the reason actually to transfer those airplanes to Ukraine. But at this stage no one will tell you 100% the combat mission of those airplanes. Ukrainian military command and the Ukrainian Air Force will decide what to do and how to use those airplanes. Then they arrive. Obviously they have the plans, but they will not share it openly. So Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Fox News, CNN may say everything they want, but reality will be, I think, different. Putin is really concerned that the United States of America is sending some of its nuclear weaponry to Germany. It's really the outstanding step, and also the United States of America will send some of the B-52 to Germany. So actually it will operate and handle those nukes, not the German side. But Putin is really concerned. He said that if it will continue happen like that, we'll put our middle-range weaponry close to your borders. But actually they already did it in Belarus. They sent nukes to Belarus. So what the United States is doing in Germany is the response for the Putin's aggression. But you know, this guy is always lying, as I told you. Alright guys, let's go to the situation on the ground, and here I should be very careful because YouTube might apply restrictions for my videos if I show some of the combat footages, but here I may try to share some of the screenshots, not the actual videos, but I share those usually on my Telegram channel. Yes, I'm constantly speaking about my Telegram channel. It's the alternate source for me to keep you updated. So, here, Russia decided to attack Ukrainian positions with a single BMP full of infantry inside and on the top. They advanced towards Ukrainian positions. Sorry, I used the yellow color to show it. Usually it should be red, but anyways, they were ambushed by Ukrainian Bradley and were forced to retreat, but Bradley continued the fire. You may see the traces. They fired so many shells to hit the Russian BMP and finally got fire, got many holes, and just continued the movement by, I think, inertia, because I guess that everyone inside was just cold. At first hot, then grilled, and then cold. Here's the Ukrainian Bradley, the best fighting vehicle out there, I mean infantry fighting vehicle, with a good armor protection, with a very precise cannon, design made in the United States of America. So thank you, American guys. Thank you, United States, for sending those fantastic vehicles to Ukrainian army. Also, I'm going to try to share this screenshot. This is the part of the image of the video which Russian soldiers filmed after the ambushment in Sereblansky forest. So they were allowed actually to go to their ambush positions and to take the bodies of their fallen soldiers, let's say. Well, they did it, and they also filmed this video. After that, they left those positions. So in Sereblansky forest, the Ukrainian army has some certain success. As well as the deep state military map shares some of the advantage of Ukrainian army in Vovchansk, the northern part of the Kharkiv region. Ukraine hits the Aggregatne factory where the Russian forces are encircled for already 2 months, but somehow they're still there and they're not willing to leave the basements of the factory. But with the aviation gliding bombs, Ukraine may reach them even underground. Right now, let's go to the deep state military map for the latest update. So Russia moved again towards Vesela village. So yesterday and today, unfortunately, they moved sideways, partially even occupying the Vesela village. And it is 100% understandable that this Russian attack vector is directly pointing towards Pokrovsk. Well, almost directly. Russia has decided to change their goal from the occupying of the very important Ukrainian highway for supplies to the Pokrovsk city, which is kind of the ambitious goal for the Russian army in the current state, because for sure they will have severe losses if they continue this vector of attack. But for now, they are able actually to take the ground, as we may see. So probably they really found a weak spot in Ukrainian defense. Now try to push everything out there. It's their tactics. Use mid-waves all around, and if they see, okay, we're successful out there, let's send more mid-waves, more Russian soldiers, more ancient tanks, new tanks, wherever, and maybe, just maybe, the operation could be successful in that case. As we can see, it is really successful here, unfortunately, for Ukrainian side. Yes, it's not the strategic success of the Russian army, it's just a tactical advancement, but still they can do it right now because they have the advantage in armament, in military resources, and I think that this year will continue like that, where Russian army takes some certain ground, but the next year I hope Ukraine will be able to break the situation in its favor. It all will depend on how Ukraine prepares for the summer campaign of 2025 during the winter time. Okay, in Krasnohorovka, Russia almost fully occupied the city. Just a couple of the quarters are still remain under Ukrainian control, but all this place is in the gray zone, so it's hard to tell whether those Ukrainian soldiers are still there. So after it, Russia will obviously advance to those villages and to Kurakhove. Maybe not as successfully as in the previous part of the front lines, which I told you about in Ocheretine and Pokrovsk direction. Here it should be much harder job for the Russian army because the Ukrainian defense is robust in this place. As you probably know, Russia already tried to advance to Kurakhove, but all of their mid-waves were ambushed for 2 of the days consecutive. Other than that, there were no any changes of the front lines updates today. Alright guys, again sorry about my reactions and emotions today. Usually behave like that if I'm damn tired. I was driving today all the day. I haven't slept for a very long time, but you know, it's my duty to record the video for you. I do it every day. Even if my wife is against it, well, it's my obligation for the audience, for my friends, for you. So my friends, please don't forget to press your huge like to this video. By doing so, you help me a lot. And as always, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.